want someone to tell me, what is the soul of a man? I'm going to ask a question, answer if you can. Will anyone here tell me, what is the soul of a man? Someone to tell me, answer if you can. I want someone to tell me, what is the soul of a man? What is the soul of a man?
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. This is Renegade Operative here, and I'm pretty excited to do yet another video on a breath of fresh air after absorbing myself with so much Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, the much-awaited title from Hideo Kojima. I forgot how easy it was that time flies by immensely after being in those vast open-world sandboxes of Afghanistan and Africa. But I decided to pump the brakes on everything, put the PS4 controller down for MGS5, and open myself up to another open world romp that was ironically released on the same day as Metal Gear. And this, my friends, is Mad Max. That is right, people. The intrepid Aussie badass finally has a new 3D title for the modern ages that has come to life off the cusp of Mad Max Fury Road. I haven't had the chance to see that movie, but I will eventually. Normally, I was very skeptical of movie-to-game license adaptations, and for good reason. If they are really good, usually they are a diamond in the rough. If they're really terrible, then they're mediocre to piss poor. So you can see that the smile highlighted on my face when it came to the name of the studio backing this project, and it was Avalanche Studios. I know specifically it wasn't the Just Cause team that handled this, but at least they had a rap sheet, which I could really appreciate. And I was already intrigued from the get-go. Although, from my experience with Mad Max in both the game and film genre, it was a little on the spare side, but I did have enjoyment out of the things that the game accomplished. There was a broad emphasis on customization and scavenging in this post-apocalyptic world. Your resources are primarily limited, so the only thing you'll be using is your deathmobile and the good old-fashioned fisticuffs first, mostly to get the job done. The game's currency is known as scraps. This allows Mad Max to build like new particular weapons of destruction to get you through the environment. I saw a variety of things you can change, from earning new kill animations with a shotgun whenever you get in a scuffle, to pimping out your speeding death wagon with sharp bladed grills. And you can also upgrade the tires to handle the rugged terrain and tight turns like a beauty. Seeing people get harpooned out of their fucking car with the push of a mere button never gets old for me. The aforementioned gameplay is vast in concept. This is a sandbox game, as I mentioned earlier, and the combat system itself also seems to adhere to the basic Batman Arkham formula. You can find this readily true as you punch your way to victory with the scum of the wasteland, and you press the triangle button to counter, and you can charge up your attacks, all type of things. You can stun the enemies. I can say very early that while this system was decent, I had a substantial lack of moves in the beginning, so I'm hoping the combo counters and variety of new unlocks spice it up just a little bit more. Otherwise, as time progresses, you'll be looking at a lot of the same repetitive animations from the Louisville slugger Runtasky. The car combat handled surprisingly stellar. Even though I'm not sure if it was my imagination or not, the turning felt a little too loose, but as soon as I got used to the setup, it was a blast to engage in. Though early on, when it came to mobs of car fights with others, I was getting my ass disintegrated by early enemies, so expect your car to be junk for a bit during the first half of the game until you get some decent upgrades. In terms of exploration, it was a lot to do in this game, like liberating outposts, searching for scrap, taking part in death rallies and races, or just sticking to the conventions of the main story missions. There did seem like there was almost a little too much being piled on at times with the mission structure. For example, I was in the middle of an objective, but the game confirmed I needed to do 3 more side missions in text, such as giving my car an update before I could progress with those. This little room to breathe is something I heard that happens to you often, especially if you like to do the main story missions later. The side stories tend to interfere too much, which would be kind of a downer considering there should be more freedom for the player to go to the next area without endless indicators deterring the obvious. It's strange. The mission design seems all over the place when you actually require things, and for the side mission I was currently on, it was a slow burn just to get 400 scraps for the magnum opus to be buffed up. If this item progression doesn't enhance, then seeking parts will certainly get repetitive later on. There were more minor things that bugged me, like the frame rate having some chugs. As much as it irked me though, the positives still existed just as much. I did enjoy the wasteland concept of having some very pleasant surprises, which I won't spoil for you here, but you'll be amazed when nature goes against you. I have not gotten too far into the plot, but I will say for what I have seen, the characters in Mad Max are very eccentric, even downright mental at times, which I think fits the narrative to the events of Max's search for the Plains of Silence, rife with some very lively particulars, very well. Overall, I had fun with Mad Max. Like every other game, of course it's not perfect, of course it has some problems, of course the frame rate chugs, but for another open world experience that offers a lot to the player, there's some meat on the bones to keep you intrigued until Avalanche Studios brings out the next sandbox experience with Just Cause 3. Though I've barely scratched the surface of Mad Max, if you decide to put the money down for it and be ready, you will be ready for one long adventure that will aim to make its mark on you with a variety of things that can work. I certainly would suggest it to any diehard Mad Max fan or a fan of open world games in general. Not the biggest sleeper hit, without a doubt, but it's certainly a breath of fresh air amongst the gaming plateau, and possibly one of the best Mad Max games that ever existed currently. I don't want to spill all the beans in this first impression video, so as usual, look forward to my review whenever the hell I complete this game, that is. Till then, this is Renegade Operative signing off. I hope you guys have a good one. I'm out. Peace.